name is Kate, and I am a wildlife care specialist here. Now, San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance is committed to saving species worldwide by uniting our expertise in animal care and conservation science, along with instilling a passion for nature. Now, our conservation work focuses on 8 hubs, which span 6 continents. And we're going to be introducing you to some of those hubs today. But we believe conservation starts with the connection we make with people and wildlife every day. So are you ready to meet some cool wildlife? Yeah! All right. Well, the first hub we're going to be moving into is our Amazonia Conservation Hub, where San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance and its partners are helping to protect the Andean bear, New World monkeys, as well as plant life like orchids. Now, these next guests that are going to be coming out need the trees to survive, and they live in flocks out there in the wild. They are beautiful macaws. Now, here at Beckworth Bowl, we are fortunate enough to have our own.
That mango's the size of his face.
Please welcome out our first members. Who's first? There they come. There is Sierra and Azul, our beautiful blue and gold macaws making their way across. You're going to see a few other birds as well. Oh, here come these two. Cielo and Sol, our scarlet macaws. And then you are going to see Diego making his way across.
The Bachelor.
Here. And he is our Greenway macaw. There he is. Woo! Always right in front of me. I love it. Now, like I said, they need the trees to live, and unfortunately, macaws are endangered. Now, they live in flocks, and they live in pairs out there in their native habitats. They can travel up to 15 miles a day in search of food. But if you're asking yourself, how can you help out beautiful birds like this or anything that lives in the rainforest? Well, product knowledge is a really easy way. Simply knowing where the products you're buying are coming from. So what is that? Well, is there anybody here that drinks coffee? Yeah, probably a few of us. Now, what you can do is when you are purchasing your coffee, if it's coming somewhere that is from South and Central America or the rainforest area, you look to see that it is shade grown. Now, what shade grown means is that they grow that coffee without clear cutting the rainforest. It not only saves the rainforest, but it creates all sorts of habitats for all other species there. Now, like I said, when they are traveling in those 15 miles in search of food, all the macaws will always make their way back to the same tree. So let's make sure that tree is still there when they return. Those were our beautiful macaws, Cielo, Sol, Sierra, Azul, and Diego. Thank you very much. Okay, now we are going to be moving into our southwestern hub, where San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance and its partners are helping to protect all sorts of species. Many you can even find in your own backyard, such as the Pacific parrot or the Pacific pocket mouse, the thick-billed parrot, the California desert tortoise, as well as plant life like the boojum and the Torrey pine. Now, this next guest, I'm sure many of you have seen before in your backyard, but let's please welcome her out. This is Penelope, or we call her Penny, and she is going to be making her way out here, but right now she is chewing on a piece of mouse, I think. Sometimes she chews on it like it's a piece of bubble gum, but she will make her way out here soon. So for those of you that can't see her, it is our Virginia opossum. Now, she is about 3 years old, which can be a little up there in age, but is there anybody here that sees an opossum in their backyard and might think, ooh, gross? It's okay if you do.
No, we love them.
That's great, because it means we have all opossum lovers here then. They're extremely important to your backyard environment. All right, she's coming out for her treats now. There she goes. All right. So opossums will eat all sorts of things such as mice, cockroaches, all sorts of bugs, rotting fruit that is on your lawn, but also they eat ticks. And they can eat up to 5,000 ticks in a lifetime. And ticks carry Lyme disease, and so they help us so that we don't get Lyme disease. What they'll do is they'll walk through the grasses, those ticks will land on them, and then they will just munch on them for a snack when they are cleaning their fur. Now, Penelope came to us from Project Wildlife, which is one of our local rescues. If you are ever finding wildlife in your backyard, it's important that you do not take it in and make it as a pet. And that is what happened to her. And fortunately, Fish and Game found her, and then we got her because she could no longer be released back into her native habitat. So if you ever do find wildlife or even opossum, what you want to make sure is that if it's about the size from their middle finger to your wrist, that it is okay, but otherwise, if it's any smaller than that, you can take it to your local rescue. Now, opossums also have a superpower. They can get in a fight, or they can come up against a rattlesnake, and the rattlesnake can bite them, and the venom does not affect them. And they will actually make rattlesnakes a meal as well, but what also they are helping us with is finding anti-venom for humans. Now this is my favorite part. You see her cute little tail and her little walk as she goes away. But that was Penelope, our Virginia opossum. And that tail is actually, she can hang from it and use it like another appendage as well. Well, now is the time when I'm going to introduce you to my other co-wildlife care specialist. Please welcome out Shauna.
Shauna.
Katie. Thank you, Katie. All right. You guys having a good time so far?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We're going to keep that up. We're going to move on to one of San Diego Zoo's greatest conservation success stories. And that is actually helping the California condor come back from the brink of extinction. Now, early in the 1980s, we had only 22 California condors left in the wild. There are more than 22 of you today. Now, we decided, the San Diego Zoo, Safari Park, the California Condor Recovery Program, and quite a few other organizations got together, decided to round up those 22 California condors, breed them, hatch out the babies, raise them up to a nice healthy size, teach them how to live on their own, and then release them. Now this program is still ongoing. It has faced several challenges here and there, but I am happy to report that today, 40 years later, right, you're doing the math right? Yeah. We have over 600 California condors, over half of which are flying free. So pretty good, pretty good. We're gonna keep it up. Thank you. Now what people don't realize sometimes is that we were successful partly because of the experience that the care specialists had in raising their South American relative, the Andean condor, for many, many, many years in a zoo environment. And if it wasn't for all of that practice, we probably would have hit a little bit more bumps along the way. Now, lucky for all of you, we happen to have an amazing South American Andean condor that loves to show off. And we do have a couple of rules. I see some people moving around, so if you're moving around, please take this opportunity to sit down wherever you are. And please get your cameras out, but don't put them up in the air. And if you feel the need to duck, duck. All right, now please welcome out, without further ado, our beautiful Andean condor, Paloma.
I love that little jump. That's Christy. I've literally watched her run away from a different care specialist, jump this fence, and run up the stairs to go to her because she didn't want to be by the other care specialist. That's David. Yay!
Wow, what a stunning sight, right? She's so awesome to share with all of you. Now, Paloma was hatched right here at our Avian Propagation Center at the zoo. She's about 35 years old already, wowing crowds for years. And that bird that you just saw, that Andean condor, they're one of the largest of all vulture species, and that was about a 10-foot wingspan that just flew all through this stadium over your heads, and I'm always just so impressed with her every time. So one more time, that was Paloma, our Andean condor. All right, we're gonna move on to San Diego Zoo's One Health approach to saving wildlife worldwide. That is basically means that we believe that the health of the planet, wildlife, and people are all interconnected. That is the core of our mission, the thread that runs through every single one of our conservation projects. Now, these next wildlife ambassadors do represent that One Health approach because they are considered keystone species. And that is a species that all other wildlife
brother-sister
depend
duo
on to survive. Please welcome out, if we're lucky, our entire Wedbull wolf
Shadow
pack.
as well.
All right, we've got first and
Shasta.
foremost, this is Shasta. She is one of the younger
Beckworth.
pups. And then, of course, we have her
Shadow.
brother Beckworth. They are brother and sister, so right around the same age. And then coming up in the rear, but definitely not the least important one, that is Shadow. He is Uncle Shadow. They are a family unit. And you're going to see a lot of different natural behaviors
And that's Victoria.
from these wolves. I just ask you all kindly to stay
Melissa,
seated, which you all
Jessica,
are doing. So
Tony's in the back corner.
Now, all three of them, marking up their territory, they are considered North American gray
Shadow.
wolves, despite their
Look at that
color.
handsome boy.
North American gray wolves can be white, they can be black like Beckworth, they can be brown, or they can be a timber color, is what we call them, like Shasta and Shadow. And now, there's a lot of different myths out there about wolves, and unfortunately, they can be misrepresented in a lot of books and movies. So, of course, they are misunderstood by a lot of
That's Katie
humans.
again and
I'd like
Jessica.
to go over some of them today to maybe make you a little less afraid of beautiful species like these wolves. Some people think, oh, they howl at the moon. No, they do not howl at the moon. They howl to communicate with each other. They howl when they finished a great big kill. They howl to communicate to each other their habitats and where they are located. And they even howl to announce the birth of their pups. Another misconception about them is that they are going to go after your children or hurt you in any type of way. And what I like to point out is that these wolves are actually pretty elusive, shy creatures. They have a great sense of smell that's about 1,000 times better than us. And if they smell us, they will generally run the other way.
There we go.
These
Get some
wolves
scent
that we
rolling.
work with here at Wedbull, we've been working with since they were pups. And they have come to trust their care specialist greatly, and that's why you are so lucky to get so close to them. We also do really fun things out on this presentation
Shadow
area
is scent marking
so that
right now.
they learn that it is a fun place to be and not to be so elusive towards all of you. One of the things that you're seeing all three of them do right now is called scent marking or scent rolling, another way of communicating. We've got some snow with some fun smells out here as Shasta is rolling around in that. And you saw Shadow actually mark with his paws, and he's actually scent marking as well. Now, in the wild, these wolves are going to scent roll for several reasons. They're going to scent roll again as a type of communication, but also as a way to cover up their own
He's like, I don't care.
scent.
I'm an old
Have
man.
you ever heard of a phrase, a wolf in sheep's clothing? Well, the wolf generally marks up on smells like feces
Get it
or
in there,
carcasses.
Shasta.
Hi, buddy. And then, as he just did, rubs up on each other so that they kind of share that smell, but also to cover up their own smell. Here, as you can see, the wolves are rubbing their scents all over their care specialist, so we tend to stick with, you know, nicer smells like soaps, Victoria's Secret, coffee, you know, that kind of thing. But it still works. So how many of you have dogs at home? Yeah? Do you let them go outside sometimes and then they come back smelling really terrible? Well, some of your dogs may actually still participate in this scent rolling behavior because they are descendants of wolves. Now, of course, this is over thousands of generations of domestication, but they still have that exact behavior. However, what I like to tell all of you is that these wolves know why they are scent rolling. They're smart and they're thinking about what they're doing and covering up their scent and communicating, whereas honestly, probably our dogs at home don't really know why they're doing it. They're just kind of being silly. So it's kind of a little bit different. Now, these wolves have a vast territory. As you can see, their bodies are built for being marathon runners. They do say that wolves can run a whole marathon before we could even have breakfast in the morning. And again, they're going to do that to just cover their own territory, looking for food, and just because they need to get that energy. And we can, because they are trained to accept these collar and leashes, we can actually take them for large walks around the zoo before the zoo is open, obviously, so that they can get some of that energy out, and do have an huge exercise area in the back where they can do that as well. Now, I did mention they are keystone species. The reason for that is because they do regulate populations of those deer and other wildlife that can decimate regions. And when the wolves go on and off the endangered species list because they are so misunderstood, that is the problem that we have. When there's not enough wolves, then entire ecosystems just collapse and all other animals lose their habitats. And the greatest thing we can do for wolves is just learn to understand them and try to do what we can for them, like we are for other conservation efforts in other continents. All right, that was our wolf pack, Shadow, Shasta, and Beckworth. Thank you. Now, the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance is creating a world where all life thrives, and never has this been more important. As first responders in the field, we are there applying a century's worth of wildlife knowledge to global conservation challenges. We collaborate, we innovate, and we hope we inspire people and wildlife to thrive together for a healthy planet. Conservation is at the heart of everything we do here, so thank you so much for spending your day here and helping us with all the conservation projects. You can do more if you'd like, and I just hope that you learned something about them today. And please remember, when wildlife thrives, all life thrives. Thank you guys so much, and please, all love each other. We need it. Have a great day.
Thank you.